Hey, we're back at you with another weekly episode of the Rated RX podcast. I'm Robbie Abasi here with Sam Llona and Xavier Hill. Boys, how we doing today?
Doing great. Anniversary weekend this past weekend. So me and the lady went out and celebrated, and it was a good weekend.
Nice. What'd you guys do?
We actually went down to San Diego, in your neck of the woods.
Wow, bro.
Didn't get a chance to stop by.
Didn't get the invite.
It was all about love.
You didn't want me crashing your anniversary weekend?
Yeah, definitely not. Not you, Robbie.
I wouldn't invite me either. It's okay.
But no, it was a good time. Hopefully next time I come down there, we can link up for sure.
Sounds good, bro. Just 2 hours away. How about you, Sam? How's your weekend been?
It's been pretty good. Prepping for some Canada trip. Going up to Canada this weekend for the long weekend. Haven't been there before, just through airports. So going to BC and Victoria Island. Have you guys been up there at all? Any trips up there? Any recommendations?
I've not been that far north. Too cold up there for me.
I've been wanting to go. I hear Banff is pretty cool.
Yeah, my parents have gone there before. I have not been over that way, but they loved it.
That's awesome. I hope you have a good trip, dude. That sounds sick. I'm jealous.
Skip a few days of work. That's always good.
Oh yeah.
A few days after a long weekend of work, that first day back is usually always rough. So
yeah.
Get to avoid that this time.
Nice.
There you
good.
Go. There you go. We got the holiday coming up too. We got off on Monday.
That's where we're going.
Nice.
So we got Tuesday and Wednesday off.
Oh, yes.
So nice little road trip.
Nice, dude. Well, hope you have a good time. You going with Laura?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
You know it.
Nice. Okay. Well, let us know how it is, man. I hope you visit a Canadian pharmacy and give us the deets. I know Hilo said a little bit about it, but it'll be interesting to hear your perspective afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, my week was pretty chill. Family was in town, visited them. They had a fantasy football draft thing. It was fun hanging out. It was a good time. Good time.
Did they let you play, or you just watched?
You know what, man? I never play that stuff.
You did it in pharmacy school once.
I did it one time, and it was cool.
Fun.
I couldn't get myself invested in it fully because I never watched the games. I understand the appeal. I really do. There's nothing. I don't have anything against it. I just couldn't get myself to watch it and invest myself. I just couldn't. I couldn't. So never really watched football, but it's cool. I know.
You let us down.
I'm a shameful boy. Shameful boy. Yeah.
Well, now you got Travis Swift out there. You could at least draft him, right?
Yes. I hear she's the quarterback, right?
Exactly. Where's the pants, if you will?
I believe that, actually. Well, hey, bringing it back to pharmacy, I was, perusing the interwebs, and I saw a very interesting article, and it really made me think about the whole impact on GLP-1s. We're pharmacists, and we tend to have our cap on when it comes to therapeutics and things like that, even a little bit when it comes to the cost of things. We know these medications are expensive, but this article was really interesting that I found, and I'm gonna share it here. Sort of looked at the impact of GLP-1s as a whole on the economy, and it wasn't really something I thought about. For example, they were saying how by 2030, they estimate the GLP market will be around $100 billion with a B dollars, which is insane. And I think they said 0.4% of the U.S. GDP is going to be right there. 0.4% of the GDP is going to, or I guess increased. My bad. Not even 0.4. It's going to be increased just by GLP-1s alone, which is pretty insane. But and then also, I mean, they're obviously not cheap. You're spending about, I think they said about $1,000 to $1,400 a month when it comes to treatment. But it's not even just the impact of that alone. It also, branches out into other industries. And so obviously when you're on a GLP-1, you're not going to have as much of an appetite. So you're not going to be buying as much food. So, I mean, that part is obvious. And I think there's a study that came out that the article talked about how people who are on GLP-1s end up having a reduction in their grocery spending by 5% annually, which sounds like a lot, but still does not cover the cost of your GLP-1s if you're paying cash. but I mean, the impact as a whole on the food industry, that's obviously going to, tank things there. And another interesting thing that I didn't even think about is how it influences other sectors. Like, for example, transportation, right? So if people are weighing less and they're flying and traveling, that's less gas that the airline company's spending. And so the airline as a whole is doing well too. And another thing that I didn't realize that I guess they project it's also going to have an impact on like drinking and gambling, because GLP-1s, they influence the dopaminergic pathway in the brain, so you don't have this urge to like do pleasure seeking. And so they said more science is needed to confirm this, but they do anticipate that because of the rise in GLP-1s, people are going to have a less urge to do some gambling, smoking, drinking, which is exactly. It's just so crazy, and it's just like it's not something I really think of as a pharmacist, how it impacts other industries like that, how we're more focused on, just the therapeutic side of things. So just thought that was interesting. Wanted to share that. What do you guys think about all that?
It's definitely exciting for me, just because I'm getting into stocks more. And since as a pharmacist, I try to look at the healthcare stocks a little bit. But it sounds like to me, like Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly stock, like it's right now like $700 something right now.
There it is, right there.
But it sounds like it's gonna keep going up. So it sounds enticing.
There you go, man. Get in before 2030. Sam, has it slowed down your compounding at all with
Not really. It just keeps going up. Even so yeah, we do compound it. Even with price drops and changes by the FDA, like it's just everyone wants it. Doesn't matter. It's probably getting more popular from people, or people getting more and more used to it or comfortable with it, or who knows specifically why it keeps going. But yeah, it's even, they're talking about in this article price changes and decrease in price, but they're still pretty expensive. It's still $500 for starting doses, and then it's just starts going up from there. So that's their big headline is it's $500 a month, but yeah, really that's only at the very starting dose. So yeah, maybe the first month that is, and then it starts going up from there. So they did bring the price down like they said they would, try to increase prices internationally, but I don't think that's really going to keep going short term. They probably made their move, and they're going to sit there for a while. And yeah, maybe the market keeps pushing down for those prices. And then, Xavier's talking about stocks. There's other companies coming in. So, those are the first ones coming out. Usually they get better. We talk about everything else, second gen, third gen. GLP-1s are probably going to get better. They're probably going to be targeting other things. True. So, there's going to be some new ones. They're talking about oral versions. I know that I can't remember some names, but there's an oral version that just passed human trials, and they're on that. So it's just going to keep going. So it's exciting. Yeah.
Can't wait. I want them cheap. I want them cheap. I want some.
I'll take a little bit, Robbie.
Yeah. Why not? Sign me up.
We can all be sexy.
Well, I don't know how to react to that. I'll react by.
You can't get any sexier than you are.
Oh, thanks. You're making me blush. On that awkward note, I'm going to pass it over to Sam, who's got our next segment for a weekly weigh-in.
Thank you. All right, you pull it together. Over there.
I'm trying.
So we got a weekly weigh-in. We've got a something sent in from a prescriber. So their little message here: be honest. Do you secretly judge us for how messy our handwriting is? Or are you just used to deciphering hieroglyphics at this point? How do you guys feel about those scripts coming in? How many written scripts are you still getting versus, I don't know, Zay, if everything's just e-script you get in the hospital?
Yeah.
But how much of that handwriting are you having to deal with?
I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't really seen much of any handwriting since my rotations at the big chain drugstores since pharmacy school. I've been in hospital the whole time, so I don't know what they be writing on those. And I like to do them on social media. You'll see them, and I can decipher some of them because I know the drug names and the doses and stuff, so I can kind of figure a lot of them out. But honestly, I couldn't help you.
Robbie, an experience for you?
Not right now, and it's just because we get all of our stuff is also e-scripted over, but I never will judge anyone based on their handwriting because I too have terrible handwriting. So I am no one to judge. And I remember when I was a technician, the pharmacist used to give me crap about it. He's like, dude, you're going to be going to school. You can't be writing like this. And I was so self-conscious.
You got to pull it together.
Yeah, I was so self-conscious. I found this book on Amazon. It was like, improve your handwriting, and it had all these exercises. And I was so hell-bent to do it. And I was like, I'm going to get good handwriting. People are going to know this is legible. You're going to know what I'm trying to write. And I did the first page, and I was like, this is dumb. I just stopped.
Just gave up right there.
Yeah, I was like, we got computers. I'm going to type this out. But, so just as a personal thing, I started taking a Japanese course, like legit, signed up for community college. I'm at week 2, so you'll probably hear me talk about it more being stressed out. But I'm trying to learn all the characters, and I promised myself as I'm going through it, I'm like, I'm going to do this slowly. I'm going to learn to write this legibly because I already screwed up one language. I can't screw up another language. So I gotta be one. I gotta have one good one,
That's exciting. Very brave of you. Going for a new language. Are you guys planning a trip? Is that going to be wrapped around the trip out there, or just want to do it?
Eventually want to go back. I keep seeing these memes about how you can buy a place for like $14,000 out there. It's, in the middle of nowhere, but the thought of having a place for $14,000 in a foreign country just sounds so appealing. So I'm like, you know what? I think that's reachable. Like, what? It's got to set aside like $300 a month to pay something like that off for 30 years. Like, I have no idea. I'm just making up numbers, but but I feel like that's manageable.
Yeah, I guess knowing the language and be able to read and write it will be very helpful when you get your little $14,000 house out there.
Yeah, maybe I'll even practice as a pharmacist out there.
Hey,
living it up.
Wink, wink.
So for, I guess, talking about e-scribing then, what you guys deal with, do you think it's helping? Is it just a new way, chaos in there? You guys are seeing those a lot. Are they usually right? And you got crazy SIGs that you guys are seizing when those are coming in?
Oh yeah, it's definitely still it's a legible chaos. So kind of like you say, you can at least read what it's saying, but then you see that it still can be pretty messed up, and the instructions could be completely wrong, or they mistyped, or they clicked the wrong button, or it's just 1 dose now, but they want a 30-day supply. Like, I need more. Like, can you update this and fix this? So we spent a lot of time actually helping the doctors fix the prescription so they can say the right things on the bottle for sure.
Yeah, at our place, so we try to limit our providers to solely prescribe things based on our formulary, because that prevents errors, and we have everything based off of like power plans, meaning like already ready to go orders. They can just click and send, so they don't screw anything up. Because even with electronic stuff, when they were trying to pick it out, they would still make mistakes, for human. For example, they would hit Depakote ER instead of DR. And a lot of time, and that screwed things up, and even before when they were allowed to prescribe that, they were getting all the conversions wrong too. So it just created this whole big mess, and pharmacy calling like, hey, this conversion's off. So now we just nixed all that. We're like, you know what? We just got to keep this easy when it comes to prescribing, so there's no issues. Drop the ER. Now it's just a DR, things like that. But Xavier is totally right. While it is legible, it does create other problems, especially when it comes to like clicking things, even a wrong SIG. I saw, a little joke online about like there's a pharmacist with a page where he'll read like directions of prescriptions he got and how bad they are. And one was like, it was like written for 30 tablets per dose. It was like 300 tablets, take 30 tablets by mouth while awake. And it was just like, what? Like, it was just something ridiculous like that. It's just like, that doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, so errors definitely still happen.
I think it's unique for us because in compounding, like it's not something clickable. And so like, you guys, whatever you're saying, you have it all set up. Like they literally can't click or pull up what they want us to make for them. So there'll be things like bulk testosterone is like what the drug is, and they have to like explain or their milligram dose that they want, or notes like what base they want and things like that. And they can't, combo drugs they can't do. Like we can, do all sorts of hormone combinations and whatever it may be, and they just don't have the ability to select it. And so that can be frustrating. One for that, others because we're compounded. Like sometimes our system just doesn't work properly, where they have a hard time e-scribing things to us.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of unique things. Not that they are wording things crazy, but more they just can't communicate it across to us what they're wanting. So we do have like PDFs, fillable PDFs and things on specific things where same thing. You can select this, this, and this to try to make it easier. But then they got to start handwriting in. That's where we get signatures. And we've got one clinic where a tech just made up a sheet and we have each doctor's signature on there because they never write their name. They just sign it. And so you can have this little sheet to see which doctor sent this in to us.
Nice.
But a little unique on that end.
Do you guys take like verbal orders and for this situation? Like if you can't write everything down or put everything on the PDF or do it electronically?
Yeah, we do quite a few verbals for both vet and human, just specific things. Also, if they're calling for something they want, like they're not even sure what we can really offer or strengths or different things. It's like, yeah, we can do this, or they want something super high. It's like, we just can't put that much powder in a capsule, or we can't put that much liquid in per mil of powder. So there is a little bit of back and forth on what we can and can't do. But I type a lot of my scripts. So I try, same thing with me, with Robbie, not the best handwriting. So I try to type on all those verbals. I'll type what they're calling in to try to be kind to everyone else, making sure everything's clear on that.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you. All right. So last question, Zay, we'll start with you. Something a little fun on handwriting. So if handwriting were to summon a demon or demons, which drug name do you think would most likely open a portal in the pharmacy? Any drug name that pops out to you for that?
Oh man, I'm thinking maybe levetiracetam. So Keppra, the brand generic name for Keppra.
Okay.
I feel like
it's a good one. A nice,
that sounds
nice
like
long,
a spell or something like that, and a demon will come. So I'm thinking levetiracetam.
Okay, I like it. Robbie, any drugs names for you pop out?
Oh man, it's got to be Devil Pro X, man. It's got to be Devil Pro X. It sounds like devil or diva. Either way, you're gonna have a bad time, So be careful when you see that prescription.
Okay, I like that one.
Always call it
the one that came to mind for me was diethylstilbestrol, an old estrogen, original synthetic estrogen, not on the market for humans anymore, but we use it for pets. But,
interesting. Yeah, that definitely sounds like you can open up a demon portal.
That's right. It can do some things. It can do some things for you.
Some things.
All right. Well, thank you guys. We'll pass this on to Xavier for a little fun fact story here for us.
All right, guys. Thanks, Sam, for handing it off to me. Now we're going to do pharmacy fantasy today, and I have a pretty fun scenario for you guys. It's called the Kombucha King. So here's a scenario. A patient named Chadwick, we'll just call him Chad. He swears by his homemade kombucha, right? So he has like a huge gallon pickle jar, right? He's just like fermenting this stuff in his garage. It's been in there for like 9 months, so long enough to cook a baby, right? So he's convinced that it cures everything. He takes a little sip of it, boom, his blood pressure is better. And he proudly tells you that he stopped his lisinopril because his kombucha scuba spirit keeps him healthy. So, how long do you guys think he'll last until he gets food poisoning?
I mean, he's probably fine. He's having a grand old time. He's going to be blaming it on something else. This kombucha is probably never going to give him food poisoning. It's just everything else he might be eating is the cause on this.
That's a good point. That's a good point, man. But people who want to believe in something, they won't blame the thing they love. That's a good point.
That's very true. But you don't think he has an iron stomach or something? That's what you think? Like stomach of steel.
I mean, after all that kombucha, all those probiotics in there, man, he's invincible.
I feel like he'll have a lot of diarrhea, to be honest.
Well, you got to ask him.
Well, I want to know how long a kombucha lasts because, like, I love kombucha, man. And so I need to know for my own sake. I wasn't into that stuff initially, but my wife definitely got me on the kombucha train. So I hope he's doing okay.
I mean, it's good for your gut health, so who knows?
Yeah, how are those poops?
I prefer
They're-
professionals get my kombucha.
They're pretty solid, pun intended.
Not watery?
No, watery, no. And honestly, hey, I'm a believer. It helps me with bloatiness. My farts aren't as stinky. My wife is super grateful. So,
All right.
Very
So
nice.
she's gonna laugh when she hears this part. She's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you said that."
All right, piggybacking off that part, Robbie, since you like kombucha, would you try a sip of his kombucha just to see what it tastes like?
Oh hell no! Not knowing that it was in his basement for 9 months using the same thing. No, dude. There's like kombucha that you buy off the shelf comes there's a whole process of sanitation and handling. It's refrigerated. I know for a fact it needs to be fridge, not at room temperature. So
Well,
He's got a new strain.
It's in his garage, so it can be pretty hot in there.
He's got a new strain of like a fungal infection is what he's got there. I'm good.
He got some super kombucha in there.
Like
what about
super
you,
bug.
Sam?
I would say I would try it. If it wasn't, if he's been having it for a while, I don't know if I'd be wanting to try the first batch. Like they've had it for 9 months, and it's like, okay, come in the garage and crack this with me, and let's open this up. It's like I know, I'm okay, but if he's been doing it for a while, it's like okay, give me a little bit. I don't necessarily like kombucha in the first place, but I'd be willing to try it.
I don't think it's like a brandy barrel where the more it holds it, but you don't
know.
Flavor.
You just told us you don't know. You're not into it.
Hey, what's the real
You
process?
could just be lying
though?
to everyone, spreading that false information.
The real process, you have to get like a starter, which is like it's like not like a yeast, or it might be some sort of yeast,
just like bread, right? They keep that
kind
for
of.
years.
It's like a
beef starter
different
for years.
It's
Yeah,
like
I think it
one.
is bread. So my wife has a family member who actually lives out in Colorado, and they made their own kombucha. So I think they made it from bread, and they had it like in a little jar, and it was just roasting, and it looked disgusting. So I would never try it. But I mean, she grew something in there. They called it kombucha, and they told me all about it, and they had been doing it for like a month or so. So I think it's from bread though, because they use yeast. I think, I don't know. I could be wrong.
Robbie, if you're brave enough to do the Japanese class, you're brave enough to try some kombucha.
I love kombucha. I just don't know if I want Chadwick's kombucha. Every Chad and Brad I've met, I've always, been like, I don't know. Like, there's a meme about your name. I don't know. I gotta be careful.
I'm with you, Robbie. I probably wouldn't try it for sure. I even try my own family members' kombucha, so definitely not trying some random person's on the street. So, but yeah,
I think I'd be willing to try it if this wasn't a 9-month-old batch that he was recycling. There's no way that mother is still alive. That thing is no way.
Hey,
no way.
It takes time to make something great.
That's right.
Yeah, but kombucha's not on that list. I think it only takes like a month to ferment. So something like that. I don't think
9 months fermented. I'm sure it's like a little kombucha monster in there for sure.
Oh, I'm sure there's a monster in there.
Let's say it was good enough to eat, right? Do you believe that the healthcare benefits of lowering the blood pressure are possible for his magical kombucha? Because he kind of grinded it out for 9 months and fermented it, and then now it's a new blood pressure pill.
Who knows what's in there? It could be anything. Maybe his wife ground all his lisinopril in there, and that's why his blood pressure is going down.
Get him to take it.
Oh, he's not going to take his meds. Let me fix this.
He drinks the kombucha.
I have not read any link between kombucha and lowering of blood pressure. And I'm not saying it's not a thing. I'm just saying I haven't heard of it. Have you guys heard of it?
I have not heard that either. Like you said, inflammation, bloating, probiotic stuff.
Yeah,
I have not heard
pretty
anything with blood pressure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's nothing out there on
Is this what the misinformation hippies are saying about this stuff now? Guys, we got some work to do.
I know all these questions that people have. We need to go fact check them.
Sounds like you got to start making your own, and then we'll see. See if you
All right,
send some
Robbie.
samples.
You look like you're a kombucha king for sure.
I would love to. I've talked about it. Not kombucha, but what's that other one? You can buy kefir.
Kefir,
Not milk kefir, but I would make like a water kefir. Much easier to do, apparently. Talked about it because kombucha is expensive, man. Like a bottle is like,
Awesome,
like $3.50 for a single bottle.
Oh,
So they're not cheap.
Yeah. Well, I'm saving money because I'm not drinking it. But kefir, I might try. And I heard that's also good for your good. So,
Well, if you're not drinking it, I'm sure Catherine's mad at your farts. So
my farts are fine.
sure, I want to hear her say that.
All right, let's end this. Moving on. Next, we have Sam. We're going to do the blind draft game.
All right, we've got the Plan B blind draft. This week, we have top not my job moments in the pharmacy. So
Love
we're going to range of things, not my job, when you're behind the counter. So we're doing 1 through 5 again. You guys ready?
Okay, so 1 is going to be...
1 is the most not my job scenario.
Okay.
5, it's like, okay, yeah, that's kind of my job. I don't want to do that, but I can do that.
Okay, like fixing the printer, not my job, right?
Not your job. You're the only one there. It's your job when you're the only one there.
But technically, it's not my job. You know,
right.
They call pharmacy for everything, so.
That's true. So it's all your job is what you're saying.
That's what it feels like.
All right, number 1. First one, refereeing a fist fight over the last box of Sudafed.
I think that is probably closer to your job to make sure patients don't kill themselves over Sudafed that you are legally selling them. Referees open to interpretation, though.
He just makes sure, when someone loses, they count them out. 1, 2, 3, you're out.
You're like, are you like, no, don't spill on the drugs? Or you're like, hey, go for the eyes. What is that? What is that?
Be like, hey, don't do that.
Nah, go for the eye drop. You gotta get entertained somehow at this pharmacy.
That's true. You're right. I run a boring pharmacy.
Right. Nothing like a boring pharmacy. It makes work go by so slow. I think we should give this a little bit of our job. What are you thinking?
I'm gonna agree with you there. So, what are you thinking? Like a 3-4?
3-4? Yeah. You can make the final decision on this one.
Let's go 3 because Sam plays dirty. Refereeing Sam
3.
should be part of the not my job.
Right down the middle. Okay, next one. Being asked to demonstrate how to insert a suppository for their dog who they just placed on the counter.
Ooh. It's kind of our job. I mean, not necessarily demonstrating.
Is it your job or is it not your job?
Not demonstrating, but like
you got to demonstrate.
They're
asking you straight demonstrate this for me. They hand you the suppository.
I'm like,
they put their dog up on the counter, lift the tail.
Just insert.
Only because I am not a vet and I did not study dog anatomy, I could not confidently give an explanation. I could give her the drug and counsel potential side effects, assuming they're the same way as a human being. Let's assume it is, even though it's probably not on a lot of things. Let's assume it is. I'm going to say it's not my job. I'm going to say go to the vet.
We have to refer them to the vet for sure.
Yeah, because I don't want to do more harm than,
Yeah, that might be a 1. It's like,
it might be a 1. Damn, okay. Hey, if you think so, I'm not going to hold you back.
You want to insert the suppository?
I don't want to do. No, I don't even want to do it to myself.
Rob, you love suppository. Stop it.
This is an exit only.
An entrance for suppositories.
There we go.
All right, let's go with 2.
Let's do it.
2. Okay.
Definitely not our job.
2. Okay. Next one. Number 3. Explaining the entire U.S. healthcare system in under 60 seconds.
Ooh.
They come up, they're upset, they're asking you what's going on, why this, why that. You got 60 seconds, you just drop it and explain it all.
I think it's part of the job.
Yeah.
They
want you, and then we got to be quick with it because we don't have time to explain everything. So we got to hit them with the key points.
Yeah. But what do we have left, Sam?
You've got 1, 4, and 5.
Okay.
Say 4?
I mean, we probably could throw this one at 5. It seems like a
You
safe
think
one.
really? Oh,
It seems like a safe
You're
one to
bold.
put at 5.
you're bold today. Okay, let's do it.
I mean, because that's our job, right?
Yeah. But, hey, I'm not arguing with you. Let's do it.
Okay, 5.
So we got
you
1
guys
and
have
4.
You have 1 and 4 left. So next one, being asked to gift wrap hemorrhoid cream.
That's definitely a 1.
Not your job.
Not your
Not
get-
to gift wrapped hemorrhoid
They're coming
cream?
up from the aisle. They got the hemorrhoid cream or the script you just gave them, asking you to, hey, can you gift wrap this for me? I need some of this nice paper right here.
I mean, it's not our job, but I mean, I could put it in a nice white pharmacist baggie. I mean,
It's-
pharmacy bagging.
But the question isn't, hey, how bad is this task? It's how much of it is not your
Not
job.
our job.
That
True.
so
That's definitely not our job.
gift
But we got
wrapping
one.
is not our job.
We got 1 space left.
Kind of 1
We
and a
got
4.
1. We already
1 and a 4.
used 2 and 3.
Yeah, but you wanted to.
Right, because stuffing a suppository up a dog's ass is not our job.
You know what? Whatever. You think it should be a 4? You think
No, I don't think it should be a 4. I think
Then
it
it's
should
a
be
1.
like a 3.
Then it's a, we have
You
3.
only have 1 and 4 left.
Yeah, we only have 1 and 4.
But what if the last one is like definitely not our job?
Well, then we're screwed.
I mean, I think
You know what? I think it's all part of the game experience. Let's say 1. I don't think Sam's gonna screw us.
Okay, you guys are going
gift
1.
wrapping
So,
is not our
let's go.
fucking job.
I'm calling out this one on Sam.
all right,
watch me
so
have egg on my face.
locked in at 4.
This one better be our job.
Translating toddler gibberish at the counter because the parent insists he's telling you what he needs.
I mean, to a degree it is, I think, but yeah.
That's the patient, right? You got to care for the
Yeah.
patient. You got to listen.
Exactly.
We're taking care of the child.
You know what? That would definitely, yeah. I'm glad that's not number 1.
You understand baby gibberish?
I'm getting better at it. I understand my son's gibberish.
There you go. Hey, some babies speak the same language, so
And maybe it helps that now he's taking Japanese. He's starting to
Hey, he did-
understand that shit.
I think it's confusing him more. He
Talk to him in
hears
2
me
languages.
practice out loud. He's just like, huh?
All right, so you guys went number 1, being asked to gift wrap hemorrhoid cream. Number 2, being asked to demonstrate how to insert a suppository in a dog. 3, refereeing a fist fight over the last box of Sudafed. 4, translating the toddler's gibberish because he's telling you what he needs. And 5, explaining the entire U.S. healthcare system in under 60 seconds.
Hey, you did good, Rob.
That's not bad. That's
we
not
did,
bad.
we did pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. I
You
like that.
called Sam's bluff, and we got a perfect list.
Hey, man. I'm just feeling it today. I'm aligned with
He's
the
in the
universe.
zone.
Hey,
Must have
you
been
the
that
man.
kombucha you had.
You the man.
Thanks.
Sips kombucha.
I feel so special.
Pinky up. All right, good work, boys. Good work. We've got looks like Robbie has got a little video to share with us. Is that right?
Yes. Thank you so much, Sam. I'm glad we kicked your butt on that round here. So yeah, I was perusing the internet. Video came to mind. I'm not gonna say anything about what it is. I want you guys to watch. I hope you guys didn't watch it because I want your honest reactions here. So I'm just gonna go ahead.
Retail pharmacy.
Okay, I haven't seen
Always
this.
got to be a retail pharmacy. All right.
Looks like a CVS or a Walgreens, maybe.
Yeah, you nailed it. All
I'm
right. I'm gonna play. Okay. I want you guys to just tell me. Just feel free to speak, comment among it. Right? Ready?
2 tubes of ointment out.
There's a whole process with the prescription. It comes in, it has to be typed in. I have to verify it, then it gets printed out.
Again, you had it for an hour before I got here. Do your
An
job.
hour.
So Monday is backed up for
An hour. Just slap a label on it, right?
You're lucky I even looked at it if it's been an hour.
Yeah.
The doctor's
Got a
office sent
baby.
it over.
Things aren't
There's no
gonna be
reason it shouldn't have been
traumatized.
filled.
Doctor's office sending it over.
Right, because no one does their job anymore.
You need to stop. You need to stop. You really need to stop.
Mind your fucking business. Who the fuck are you?
To hear you?
Oh.
It's my business.
I don't care. Mind
I
your business.
care. I don't want to hear you.
Then leave.
No, you leave. You're making
It's
a
bad
scene.
when
I'm
another
not
patient
leaving.
has to
You're
step in and
embarrassing
defend
the
you.
children.
That's crazy.
You know what? Fuck you.
Ooh,
Ooh.
that's
She's
fun.
got a very colorful language. Wow.
My first thought was, you see that reaction. It's like, okay, yeah, something's been crazy or backed up a long time. And then she's like, it's been here an hour. It's like, are you kidding me? An hour? Like we'll have fax machines like with 80 scripts on there. It's like, yeah, we're working through them. It takes what, 5 minutes a script? You could take 3-4 hours just to even look at the piece of paper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just to get to it. Yeah,
An hour. I haven't even touched the fax machine in the last hour. It's still sitting over there.
Yeah, fax
You're not
tend
even
to
the
be
only
last
patient.
thing checked. What are you thinking there, Xavier?
I feel like this is common in pharmacies. I feel like patients don't always understand what's actually going on behind the scenes, and we haven't done a good job as a profession to kind of, I guess, it's hard to explain to everyone kind of what we're doing back there, right? And they feel like, hey, doctor sent it over. Doctor probably didn't send it over. You should get it. I'm the only patient here right now, so you should be working on only mine. It needs to be done ASAP. As soon as I walk through the door, I need to have it ready. I mean, people are used to like the fast food environment. We're not Taco Bell. We're not McDonald's. We're not going to have your stuff done right away. As soon as the order comes in, we're working on hundreds of thousands of orders at a time sometimes. And we'll probably have more important stuff. Every patient is important, so we can't rank one over the other. So we just kind of go by the order that they came in. So I can understand why patients get upset. I feel like she took it a little too far. And that sounds like the pharmacist or whoever that was there were trying to explain to them, like, hey, this is how it works. I know it's been an hour, but no, we just got it, working through it. We had a line out the door before you got here. We just got caught up. We're working on you. We see you're here. We pulled yours to the front. We're going to work on it. So just kind of pretty common scenario that tends to happen in the pharmacy for sure.
Yeah, it's one thing you said that I thought was kind of sad for the profession as a whole is that you said that it's pretty common. And unfortunately, you're totally right. Whenever I'm on TikTok, YouTube, whatever, it's always a pharmacist venting about how they didn't have adequate staffing, the adequate help, and they always look so beat up and disheveled. And we've talked about it on the show before, burnout, pharmacists, even some pharmacists taking their life because they're in situations like that. And it's just really unfortunate that our profession is sort of driven like that sometimes. But has something like this ever happened to either of you two, where a irate patient just came at you, or maybe even a provider? I know, Xavier, you work in the hospital, so your situation might be different. But how about you, Sam? Any patient ever try to tear you up like that?
I mean, not at that level. There are ones that come in, obviously compounding. We're talking turnaround time for that. Compounding, if we're making something from scratch, obviously it's going to take even longer. So people not being used to retail, then they're definitely not used to compounding turnaround times. And bringing something in that like at the end of the day and they need right away, or it's a Saturday and need this. It's like this, if I had everything right now, it would take us an hour just to make it, not to mention everything else involved. And it's like, we close in half an hour. It's like there's no physical way. Like we can't physically make this fast enough for you. It's just not possible. Or some of the forms that are hazardous and they have to be done, everyone has to suit up in a negative pressure room. Ones that are into like wax molds, so it literally takes an hour to heat this and melt it, and you got to pour it into a wax mold and let it cool. Like that can take 4 hours to make that for them, and it's just not a quick turnaround time on that. So obviously there's times when we screw up and it's something that we should have got done, and there's ones that come in like that needing this right away. It's like it's just not possible. I don't know what to tell you, but we just physically cannot do it.
Not safely for sure. Yeah, my situation in the hospital is a little bit different, but I have had patients kind of get upset about different things. One particular situation I can remember recently, this summer, the new doctors start in the summer, so they're just getting acclimated with actually being a doctor, taking care of a full workload of patients, figuring out how to use the system, figuring out how to order all the drugs. So that can take a process. So we had one patient, everything kind of took a longer than needed. The doctors refilled medications, but this patient was on a budget. He didn't want medication because he only had a certain amount of money they could spend. After he paid for his rent, he only had a certain amount of money left, right? And he had to pay a copay for each medication that refilled because he wasn't 100% service connected at the VA. So this stuff is not free. He has to pay for it. So this patient got pretty upset. One, because it took a long time. too, because we refilled medications or the doctor, changed doses or something. But he's like, I just got a new supply of this and now y'all changing the dose. So I mean, I understand why he was upset, because he has to pay for each thing. But basically, kind of work with them. Okay, which medications do you already have at home? Well, you have a 40 milligram of Torvaset, and you could do a half. Doctor wants you to take 20 now, or you have 20 already. The doctor wants you to take 40. So, you can take 2 pills of what you have, and then when you need more, then we'll give you the 40 milligram tablet or something like that. And just kind of work with them to figure out which medications that we can, save him money on, and which ones that were new that he had to buy. But he was upset about that because, I only have this much money. I mean, I know these are not expensive, but I don't have a lot of money to buy like $8 per prescription, which is not a lot. But if you don't have a lot of money, you don't want to spend your $8 on medicine. You want to spend it on maybe food or something. So
Kombucha.
they come in, they come in yelling and upset, and sometimes it makes sense why. Sometimes we're not able to do the best for every patient, and there are a few that fall through cracks and become upset. So we just do our best to try to right the wrong and help them get to a compromise.
Yeah, definitely. It's challenging because you are seeing the patient at the tail end of their healthcare day, right? They see the doctor, they probably got troubling news, they're mad, they're upset after spending a long time in the waiting room, long time in the exam room, and the last thing anyone wants to do is wait for a prescription. So I totally get why people get upset. As far as me, the one time that stuck out to me where the only time I ever felt threatened from a patient was during my PGY1. I had a patient come in who was schizophrenic. And one thing I knew before that I know now, so I've already known this, is be careful of how you phrase things to people who have schizophrenia, because they'll look for any justification or reason to not want to take their meds sometimes, or they will take what you say and maybe weaponize it against the doctor to justify why they want to be off something. So I already knew that. And a patient came in who actually wasn't even our patient. He was just walking through and he wanted some advice on some meds. And he just asked me what they were and asked me what I think. And I responded, I said, well, it's hard for me to tell you what I think because I don't really know your medical history. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's worked for you in the past. I don't know how you responded to certain things. And then, he got aggravated. He's like, well, what do you think about this? Isn't this bad? And I don't even remember the drug, but he was starting to get mad because he wanted me to say that this drug that he's on is bad. And that's when I took a step back. I put up my hands like, whoa. And I just took a step back because this guy was also like a foot. I'm a big guy, but this guy was still a foot taller than me. And he was like, so this guy's like maybe 350 pounds, a foot taller than me. Like I'm 5'11". So, I mean, I guess not a foot. He was noticeably taller than me. And so enough to be like, I need to back up from this guy. This guy's mad and like very, very short tempered. And then he went and complained to the storefront that I, was being mean and dismissive. And I was like, dude, no, this guy came at me and like, check the camera. I backed up. I put my arms up. So they check the footage and they see how he starts pacing, goes back, comes at me. And I take a step back. They're like, okay, you're fine. But it's just like, it's just like, I didn't know what was going on with I don't know this guy's med history. And I wasn't going to give him a reason to stop his meds because he was looking for one, because from what I was gathered, he was arguing with his doctor about something. I was like, dude, I'm not getting in the middle of that. No way. I'm not getting in the middle of that. So, yeah, so it can be sketchy sometimes. But, how, as far as community pharmacists go, how do you think the general public reviews their particular roles and responsibilities? I know we hear the phrase just put it in the bag a lot, but do you guys think they see pharmacists other than that simple little act?
I mean, I bet it's probably a good portion of people are just feeling that way. I think it been coming out more that, especially retail is just, it sucks for them. Both pharmacists, techs, just an absolute grind on some of those companies. And so I think that has been a little more common on what's going on there and that kind of interaction feeling. So, public wise, I would think that it's starting to be a little more understanding on things, and probably COVID helped a lot with that, where literally everything shut down or was slow, or we can't get this or that, or due to the global pandemic being a common phrase. So I think that probably realized for a lot of people that you just can't, and not necessarily for pharmacy, but whatever it might be, they just couldn't get it for them, couldn't do it. That being across a lot of markets. So to see that in pharmacy, probably helped a lot of people understand that. But it probably still is that kind of wanting that speed, wanting that fast food service. It's not Taco Bell. Can't just turn out those pills and prescriptions as fast as you want. A lot of things involved. Zay, you're bringing up things that are wrong. It happens a lot in compounding where we're going back and forth again of those details of the script. Like, yeah, we understand, this is your fourth day in a row calling and get this. Yes, we did get it 3 days ago. We're trying to get this correct script with the doctor, going back and forth. Like, everyone's frustrated. Wish it could be easier. It is frustrating. And I'm sure that applies to just regular e-scripts as well. As you guys are talking about, things get garbled up, messed up. That's going to happen in community. They're going to be dealing with that. So it is frustrating. It is staffing issues. There are a lot of things that are just slow, and hopefully everything is going out right, which is part of that speed. So I'm sure people get irritated by that.
Yeah, definitely. They want it quick. They want it now. I think Amazon Prime has sort of paved the way for that expectation, right? It's like, I can have this in my doorstep tomorrow. I don't have to wait. We're too connected. And Xavier, what do you think? How do you think the general public views pharmacists, community pharmacists specifically?
I think it depends. Like, so you have your general public who have been on medications, who have been working with the pharmacist, or they're on chronic medications, so they get their medication filled every month like clockwork, or they've had issues in the past and now they know how to. Oh, I need to call the pharmacy ahead of time. Then I'll wait 30 minutes because I know it's always going to take this long, and then I'll go. So like those people who have been on meds, I feel like they have a better understanding of what we do and how long it takes to get stuff done. And I feel like they're a bit more understanding of pharmacists and appreciative of pharmacists. And then you got the people who are, recently sick, just came from the ER, just came from urgent care, thinks everything's really fast, process, doesn't understand why things take so long and why they have to wait, why we got to call a doctor to get a prior authorization. I think that side of the public may not understand and feel like, just throw it in the bag. Like, what's taking so long? I got 2 ointments. I see them over on the shelf. Just grab them and put them in the bag.
I can see them right there.
I can see them right there. Like,
slap a label on it.
That's what he said. They don't understand it's 52 strengths of triamcinolone cream, and we got to make sure we get the right one, the right size that the doctor ordered. Maybe the doctor, you got a huge rash on your back, but the doctor ordered 52 small tubes, and we're like trying to get them to change it to 1 large tube to make it more convenient for you. So it's little things like that. So I think it just depends on how much the public has experience with working with a pharmacy. Well, the view will be different depending on that type of person.
Yeah, you're totally right. And I also think it depends on who is viewing the pharmacist. When I worked community, different characters viewed my role differently. Going back to that other guy, he wanted my expertise on the meds because he thought my job was to say why the doctor was wrong about certain things. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I don't even know you, bro. But then you have, the opposite side of that where it's like, hey, just shut up. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what me and my doctor talked about. Just put it in the bag. Which I feel like I need to remind the general healthcare people, like, the only reason a prescription is legal is that whole the relationship between the pharmacist, patient, and the provider, prescriber. So yes, it is our job to ask questions and figure out what's going on. So we don't just put it in the bag. In my personal opinion, these are my opinions alone, who has the worst view about community pharmacists are the big chain stores, the pharmacies that employ them. I think they do run you down like a number, especially new grads. I feel like they're sort of predatory where they find these new grads who don't know any better. They they ask them to adopt a really crappy store that's just stressful that every veteran pharmacist knows to stay away from. So
Probably
I think
offer
it
them
just
less.
yeah, exactly.
Lower pay coming out significantly.
Yeah, yeah, because they know they can get away with it. So I think it depends on who's viewing the pharmacist, I guess. But yeah, well, we get lucky. Sometimes we get lucky. Get a good person who knows what we're doing is for their best interests. And then last question, boys, something I want you to think about here. How should pharmacists ethically respond to verbal abuse from patients while still trying to maintain professionalism? Sam, I see the cogwheel turning around your head there.
I mean, it's got to be tough, especially in those retail settings. You know, they're cranking through scripts as you're talking about, moving, getting work to the bone, and then someone coming in like that for it. So, you know, it sounds like they tried to, at least in that clip, you know, trying to explain it to them. They weren't yelling back at them. They were trying to still on the computer, trying to do other things or help that customer that was at the counter while they were doing it at the same time. So they seem to be doing pretty good to try to remain professional and not to kind of get into that shouting match. I think probably the hard thing to do is set up those boundaries of being like, hey, I'm done talking to you. You know, fine. You know, we don't have to do this, or, you know, stop doing this, or disengage, placating with them, or agreeing, or get into that shouting match, just trying to be professional and back off, kind of as you were kind of trying to do. But like in that situation, it's like, you know, it's tough, but, you know, how long for them to cool down, or to circle back around, or just be like, okay, we're going to transfer your script, or, you know, we won't tolerate this thing. If you keep doing this, we're not going to fill this for you. And there's probably a time and a place for that. And not, you know, your go-to move. Ideally, you can remain professional, but I think there are times where it's like, hey, we're not gonna deal with this. If it's that person, or if it's the tech and the pharmacist coming in and trying to protect their coworkers, or, you know, management that sees or knows, trying to protect each other. But at some point, there's got to be boundaries set. That's probably going to be hard for people, because they're probably pretty emotional at the moment, like that lady is. Obviously, we don't really know what the story is on them and what's going on, but it's probably difficult on both sides to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. You don't know what's going on in their head. Like what factors led them to be so angry and mad, and
Yeah,
it is tough. It is tough.
She did
And,
have a baby with her, right?
yeah, that's. I mean, it looked like she had a little basket,
Yeah,
and a blanket that should have been where a baby was, but so we'll assume there is.
There.
Yeah.
So I can kind of see why she might have been upset.
Yeah. So what do you think, though, Zay? How do you deal with an angry person while still trying to be professional?
I agree with a lot of what Sam said. You definitely have to try to stay professional. Never get into a shouting match with them. If you notice it, a lot of times when people are yelling, if you talk back in a softer voice, a lot of times they end up kind of coming back down a little bit to your level, and they, you know, stop yelling, try to match you where you are. So it's kind of a little psychology on that part. Setting them boundaries, like Sam said as well, and like, you know, you determine what you're going to tolerate before you figure out, you know, you're going to cut it off. You know, some stores have security, so you can get your security involved. You can cut the patient off, kind of like how Sam said. A lot of different things, but the key is to just try to keep your cool, because if you keep your cool, it's like if you kind of like get excited and angry and stuff, it's kind of like wind to the fire. Their fire keep getting bigger, right? But if you kind of keep your cool, they'll kind of like die out. I mean, some people will, some people won't. They have a few out there that just keep going, but you just have to try to I tend to over apologize in professional situations, just because, you know, the patient, you want to make sure the patient feels valued and right, but you still got to make sure they're not disrespecting you or your staff as well. So it's a kind of fine line. So I tend to over apologize to kind of prevent it from escalating before they get disrespectful. And, you know, it's a fine line for sure. Difficult to handle sometimes.
Yeah, I echo everything you guys said. Big one, boundaries. I think it's important to make sure they understand that what they're doing has consequences, potential consequences. And I would just be upfront, like, hey, I'm going to fill your prescription. I need you to relax. Maybe not say that. I know if you say you need to relax, people get angry, right?
People.
Yeah.
Just, hey, Karen, relax.
Hey, Karen, chill the F out, right? No. But, just have them understand, like, hey, I am trying to get this out to make you happy, but you need to tone it down a little bit. And if this happens again, then I can't help you in the future. And so just making sure that they're aware that this is not acceptable behavior. This could have consequences that can lead to you being fired as a patient if this continues. So yeah, that's the only thing I would add. Well, boys, any final thoughts for the show before Sam takes her away?
No, I think it was a great show. I hope you guys and listeners enjoyed the show. We've had a blast, you guys. Got a good laugh, a lot of good commentary. So come back for more.
All right. Well, thank you guys all for listening. Please like and subscribe. Send in your questions. We love to hear from you. iTunes, Apple, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Like them all. Press those likes. And I am Sam with Robbie and Xavier. Peace out.
Bye, guys.